Moving on to Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. Now, this is one I said that I didn't really remember all that well, and when I went back and rewatched it, yeah, I'm sticking to that. I remember it, like parts here and there. I was like, oh yeah. But there was a good amount of it I didn't, and I was actually kind of intrigued to see what would happen because I was like, I don't remember who lives and who dies in this. So it's kind of fun. It was almost like getting to watch an old Nightmare on Elm Street movie for the first time because I know all the rest of them so well. So I don't know why. I think this is just one that I've watched the least, definitely. I've probably only seen this like 3 or 4 times in my entire life. So this, I don't know why. It's just not one that I was big into, and rewatching it, I kind of understand why. It's fairly forgettable. There's things in it that are good, and I liked it overall, but easily my least favorite of the 5 so far. But let's get into the movie. Now, one thing right off the bat, this is the first film of the 5 with a super lame opening. Like, I really enjoyed the openings of the last 4, and this one is just like close-up body shots of freaking Dan and Alice having sex. It's just cheap. I don't like it at all. And that was a total shame. And we have Dan and Alice returning. Now, something I wasn't giving this series enough credit for was the continuity. And, you know, I harp on that the main franchises like Halloween and Friday the 13th and whatever, that they don't really stick to the continuity almost at all. And I have to say that there are little arguments you can make here and there, like 2 is basically being ignored by the rest, it feels, but it doesn't completely outright ignore them. There's only mentions here and there, and you can take it one way or the other. It's not like it's just like straight up no, like H2O did or something, where it's like, no, these didn't happen. I was surprised. I was really impressed by the fact that all 5 of these really seem to pay attention to things that were set up in previous films. We bring back reoccurring characters, reoccurring locations, you know, all of it, and really pay attention to what happened in the last movie. Other characters that were in the last movies are paid attention to. I like it. I like it a lot. I will give this series more credit from now on. And we get to see Alice naked in the shower, which, yet again, I'm asking the question. I already got confirmation that that was a body double for Alice, or for Nancy. So I'm guessing yet again. Doesn't matter at all, but I'm just sitting there like, I bet that's a body double. Now, Robert Englund's cameo in this as one of the 100, you know, psychopaths that impregnate Amanda Krueger, you know, knowing basic biology and how, you know, babies are born, one sperm is the one that's going to make the baby. So them saying it's 100 maniacs, it's like, no, it's one guy. I don't care if she shot a bukkake video in her vagina. It's only one dude that's going to impregnate her. Unless she had 2 eggs that split up. But we know he's not a twin. Let's not get into it. But we see that there's a guy that looks exactly like Robert Englund. He's Robert Englund, obviously. So that's the guy that impregnated her. Of all the dudes that raped her, I guess we got to see his actual father within the film. That's the only thing that I can take from that. Why even put him in there otherwise? Now, a character that we get in this movie, Yvonne, is Denise from Summer School. If you've heard me talk about Summer School in the past, my God, do I love that film. So seeing anyone from the Summer School movie immediately makes me happy. I like to see Alice's dad make a comeback in this movie. Like, he's in AA. He's a good guy now. Like, he was walking that line of being a total dick and a sympathetic character in the last one because he lost his wife and he didn't know what to do and he's overwhelmed and whatever. And when his kid dies and his daughter needs him, he pulls his shit together and he goes to AA. And I am happy they took him in that direction, and I'm glad that he came back to reprise the role because I really liked him by the end of this movie. He just seemed like a really good dude that kind of lost his way. And when I said reoccurring locations, we got the diner from the last one that Alice works at, and we got the church where the final fight scene happens. at the end of 4. It was cool to bring back those sets because that's just going above and beyond to bring back locations that they have to secure the rights to and either rebuild them or rent them back out just to go with continuity. They're not going to be like Halloween 5 and make the Myers house some fucking like Victorian mansion that's like has its own private land. God, don't even get me started. Once I review that, I'm going to rip that fucking house apart. So stupid. So I love that kind of stuff. I do love attention to detail like that. People can not care about that stuff, but I genuinely do very much. And Freddy is reborn. That's how he comes back in this movie. They always have to explain. And every movie, they add a new element. You know, in each film, there's one new element being added here. And in this one, she's pregnant, and her baby inside of her is technically part of the Elm Street lineage, and it's inside of her, so he's able to go into that kid and, you know, work through her baby's dreams, because, you know, babies do a majority of time in the womb asleep. And I thought that was really cool. That's a really, really fun idea. And every time they just come up with a whole new thing, like, oh, this time we're going to make it a girl can pull them into dreams, and the next one she's going to be able to daydream, and this one she has a baby. Like, I like that. I like that they push it and they actually think of something new. Dan definitely needs to stay out of trucks. This is 2 movies in a row. He almost dies in the first one from a truck accident. This one he does die from a truck accident. That guy really needed to stay out of trucks, but oh well. He's gone now. Rest in peace, Dan. Little Jacob in this movie is that shithead that wants to tell Dr. Alan Grant, you know, he wants to combat him on dinosaurs turning into birds in Jurassic Park. Little fuckhead. When I saw this kid, I'm like, oh, that's the little shit that he threatens him with like a velociraptor claw, and he brings it up to the kid, and he's like, I love that shit. But I'm not a big fan of that kid, and I don't really like him in this movie. He just is off-putting to me in every way, and we'll get into him a little bit later here. There's a scene I just thought was awful. And I like how Alice she wasn't even able to talk to anyone in the last movie. And in this movie, she's graduating high school at the end of this, which I guess they went back and they graduated, which is fine, but she already has made friends that are willing to fight and die for her in that short period of time. Fuck, I can't even get people to return my phone calls half the time. And this girl, in what, a year or less, is able to make friends like this that will fight for her and love her. And it's like, really? Damn, man. You have definitely come into your own. Your flower has blossomed. Freddy's makeup in this movie is not good. This is the worst makeup. I've always said 2's got the best makeup, and no movie has proved me wrong as of yet. In, you know, just going back through and being like, all right, I'm going to really pay attention. 2 definitely has my favorite Freddy makeup by far in this series. This one, the worst by far. It looks like a rubber mask on his face. I don't like it at all. Greta dies so quick. We don't even get to know this girl. And it's like, really? You're going to kill the hot chick first? Like, really? The hottest chick in the movie? She's just going to die like that in like 2 seconds? Oh, Alice is pretty hot. Doesn't matter. But it's like, really? Like, why didn't you kill Mark? I didn't like Mark at all. I thought his acting was terrible. And I kept waiting at any moment for him to jump into a Take On Me aha video. Like, but everyone's watching this movie. I was like, it's going to turn into a fucking aha video at any moment. And it never did, but I just kept waiting for it. And Freddy, I've noticed throughout this entire series, says bitch a lot. He is the Jesse Pinkman of horror villains. He is constantly calling everyone a bitch. 1428 Elm Street, yet again, we bring that back like we do in the series. And every single movie is just more and more dilapidated. And I don't know, it's just kind of like, how much more dilapidated can we make this place at this point? And this is where Freddy started to just tip his toe a little too much into the comedy side, the little too much of the parody side of things. Because we get Freddy on a skateboard in this, and we get Super Freddy in a comic book when he becomes like a superhero Freddy. And that's just one step over. Just one step over the line. One toke over the line. Yeah, that is just one step. And Freddy trying to be reborn through her baby. That's cool. I mean, they have to come up with some new way. They can't just continue to keep doing the same way. So I like that. And getting back to Jacob, when he turns into like little Freddy kid and he's like talking like Freddy, hey, Freddy, I fucking hated that outright. Like, I don't know what it was. I don't like that kid anyway, but like him doing the little like, hey, and the makeup on him and the voice, my God, I fucking hated it. Oh, wow. And Amanda Krueger returns as well. And as I said, like, we get the whole nun thing in part 3, and he finds out at the end that was Amanda Krueger. And then in the 4th one, we get Amanda Krueger again. And then this one, it's retained yet again. She's like locked in the tower. There's a really cool shot of that church or whatever that is that she's locked in. It's like almost like a matte painting when Alice is walking towards one of these scenes, like a big wide shot. I love that shot. That's like my poster shot in this movie. It just looks eerie and great. Love it. Miss kind of like that matte painting look that they used to do before CGI. Not that I'm harping on CGI. I love CGI, just not in horror movies. And yeah, I mean, baby, we have Jacob returning to her womb. Like, if I knew my kid was going to look like Jacob and act like Jacob, I would have gotten an abortion as soon as I woke up. But like, Jacob goes into her womb, and then Freddy goes back into Amanda Krueger's womb, and she's like, there's this shot where it's like going down the hallway and it's like knocking through the doors as Freddy's trying to escape her body, and it was like bringing me back to Mystery Science Theater 3000 at movie time. It's movie time, and it's like go down. Or we got movie sign. Oh my God. Mystery Science Theater 3000 fans, don't kill me for that. Ugh. I'm disappointed in myself, trust me. We've got movie sign. Come on, man. But yeah, like him being trapped in his mom's womb and him pulling away. Like, I feel like that's a fine ending. The film, like, I really liked the arc, and I feel like 5 ended the arc fine. Like, this was a good end. Freddy's Dead didn't need to happen. I'm not harping on Freddy's Dead. I have watched it, tonight as well. I'm going to slide right over into that here in a second. But this would have been fine. Like, Freddy's Dead didn't need to happen. This would have been a fine explanation. That being said, so would have 4. So would have 3. Like, Freddy died at the end of 3. He died at the end of 4. He died at the end of 5. Like, Freddy's dead. Like, you can't take it seriously. But anyway. All right, let's go move over to the final nightmare. My last one, right? Oh, there's 2 more? Oh, wow.